So I was told to stay quiet. I was told not to tell you what I'm getting ready to tell you, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And I know Will's going to be very upset with me, but I just figured you should know my true feelings. And my true feelings is I absolutely love a 130. A 130 makes me so happy. It brings me so much joy. In fact, I'm going to share some video of my shenanigans, my hooligan ability in the snow with a 130. It feels like old times. If you've followed me for a while, you know Enzo, the 130 was probably my favorite build to date. This color, beautiful. So it's very similar to a Bahama Gold, which is originally a Range Rover color. We tweaked it a little bit, made it a little beautiful. Or actually, I should say we made it a lot beautiful. And I'll tell you, it is cold out here. This is dedication. So anyway, so the client I built this for, his name's Tom. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. And when he said, yeah, let's do this color, I can't tell you how thrilled I was. So it's a 130. It is a turbo diesel. It does have our exclusive performance tune on it. So it has plenty of power. You'll see that in the video. It has a lot of magical parts on it. So let me just get started. First, you'll see the grill, made in Germany. This is a metal grill. It's not plastic. I don't like plastic. Got the bump out. It's got the Helderberg statement headlights with the broken beam, the billet aluminum headlight surrounds, and this very special bumper that Will and the crazy guys in the shop went to town on it and said, we're going to make something fabulous, something different, something unique, something one of a kind. And this is what they came up with. So it's one of those bumpers, I think either you love it or hate it, and I love it. So we brought the color in here to match the body. The winch is very special. We reached out to our buddies in the UK. Name of the company is called Red Winch. And you just watch and see. You're going to see the other builders. They're going to start doing red winches and whatever. Flattery, right? The winch is a custom winch made by these guys, and it is a lot of hand milling. This is a solid block of billet aluminum. So is this. And it's billet aluminum here, billet aluminum here. It's beautiful, it's sexy, it's erotica. And you just don't simply see anything like it. And they have different colors. I felt the red would be beautiful just for a little pop of color that matches the rear differential cover. I, I love this truck. In case you haven't gathered that, I've loved this build. So moving on, you'll see the snorkel. The snorkel is functional. It does actually work. Tom said, I need a snorkel, and I don't need it necessarily for water foraging, but it can do the water foraging. And he needs it because he has a ranch in Texas, and he just wants the snorkel because of all the dust on the ranch as they're moving across the ranch. This is his second Helderberg, and other one being a 110 wagon, so 110 5-door. Now he has the 130. It's a matter of time before he does the 90. He's already started talking about that. It has the full point roll cage. It is sitting on a lift. It's almost 3 inches of lift. It has the proper springs, the proper prop shaft. It has Helderberg custom exclusive brakes, which are hand milled too. So this is not a rebrand braking system. It has the custom Helderberg cylinder head. It has the custom intercooler. It has a VNT turbo. It has the 3-inch stainless steel exhaust system that runs through it. Progressive coil springs. It has limiting straps on the actual coil springs. It has a built-in air compressor. It has air lockers for the front and rear. The differentials are air lockers. I'm just pointing that out. So you can do some extreme, excessive off-roading. But just so you know the type of gentleman Tom is, this is going to complement his Unimog. So if you know what a Unimog is, you know where I'm coming from. The guy is interesting, very interesting, because he has all the cool toys. It has the louvers cut into the bonnet. It has all the aluminum work, billet aluminum hinges, billet aluminum vents. The interior is beautiful. It is a two-tone. It's a chocolate and black. 2 seats in the front, 3 seats in the second row. We are putting the audio system in it tomorrow. It's going to have the high fidelity audio system with the 11-inch touchscreen, the custom subwoofer box, the speakers mounted on a custom board in the back, the rear bed. Notice, again, this is a 130. The rear bed does have the, what do you call it? It's like it slips me, but it's a protective coating on the bed and it's matched to the color. So it's not black. It's an actual, it's the same color. It's this Bahama color. Has the roof rack. We are going to put the spare tire on the roof rack. That's where he's going to store it because he wants to have an open bed for plenty of room. I did put the arches on the front, no arches on the back. The reason there's no arches on the back is because that's the way Land Rover did it originally, and I just prefer the look. If we do extreme off-roading, you see that? I'm already including myself with Tom because he's invited me to his ranch. So when he does extreme off-roading, the front arches are to come off. It's just got some quick release pins. They come off because they are designed to break away and not cause any body damage. As you know, a Defender is an aluminum body. Now, let me go into some things I think is really important when you're doing a custom build. Something you just seriously don't see with other builds. Things that are important that they're actually done. Let's talk about the bulkhead. The bulkhead we know is a firewall. I'm sorry if I'm screaming to you guys, but the wind is really moving hard and it's kind of hard to hear. The bulkhead, in the States, we call it a firewall, but it's this piece right here. A Helderberg gets a new firewall. It's not uncommon that you will see a Defender that's been restored, and what they do is they'll grind out the rust, because what they do is they rust from the inside out. So they'll take an angle grinder, grind the rust out, pack it with some body filler, and let it go on its way. Well, that's going to come back to haunt you, whether it's in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. It will come back to haunt you. The frame itself around the windscreen is also prone to rust. So it's a Helderberg. This is new. So new frame around the windscreen, new bulkhead. Again, it's not uncommon to see somebody take an angle grinder, grind it out, get rid of the rust, fill it with body filler. Moving back, let me move over to this side so you can see what I'm pointing at. This is your B pillar here. Extremely rare. Actually, I don't think anyone does it other than us. That this B pillar, again, it's steel with an aluminum over it, and they are known prone for rust. So what we do is we put a new B pillar. And again, this is important. We don't grind out the rust and fill it with body filler. So to explain the whole thing, a Defender is much like a Lego set. You have the steel frame, and on the steel frame, you put your bulkhead and you put your B pillar. So you set that, you do a dry fit. So you have your frame, everything is off the frame. You set your bulkhead, you set your B pillar, you check everything, make sure it's all true. You're running strings, you're measuring and all that. And then you start hanging your doors. So you hang your doors, you get your doors on, and you make sure everything is good. This is before you start doing any of your prep, any of your body work. So it's a complete dry fit. And then you, after everything is done and you align it and you make sure everything's perfect, you disassemble the vehicle. And that's when you start all the body prep. The door comes off, the door goes on a table. You sand the door, you sand it with a power sander, you sand it by hand. You make sure everything's good. The bulkhead, the wings, also known as fenders, the bonnet. So all of this is done by hand individually. And then you primer all of these parts individually. So you go through, you spray your primer. You got to put the proper color primer based on what the color is going to be. So everything's painted off of the vehicle, and you paint, primer is what I'm talking about. And then you paint everything after the primer. You sand, you get it ready, you put a coat of paint, you go back, you sand, you put another coat of paint, you go back, you sand, you're doing a wet sand, you put another coat of paint, and then everything's perfect, that paint is perfect. Then you do a sand again, and then you do a clear coat. And the clear coat is what gives it that sheen, that shine, that depth, makes it look wet. And that's also very important too, And again, this is uncommon practice in the industry. But when Tom is running through the woods and he hits brush and he scratches the paint, this can be buffed out because there's a lot of clear coat. That's called a 3-stage paint job. It's a concourse level paint job. And that's what will keep this looking fresh for a very long time. Because it's so easy to just kind of skimp, I guess you can say, use the original bulkhead, use the original B-pillar, don't do all those steps, don't do the dry fit, that basically you pull the glass and you spray it as it sits, but that's not a true restoration. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you, and it's full of snow because I've been out driving. I'm going to share that video with you so you can see me, me and Lucy being some shenanigans, because the weather's getting really bad right now. But again, I wasn't supposed to share it with you, but I absolutely love a 130. And if you're watching this prior to January 9th, 2025, well, come see us. We're going to be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Congress Center, July 9th through the 12th, and we're going to have 4 Helderbergs on display. With that, I'm getting back in the truck. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.